Okay, so today's comic I'm going to talk about, it's called Akiko. This is volume 2, obviously, it says it there. I don't have the original comic, that single issue that I bought when I first started reading Akiko in the mid-90s. This was soon after I started reading comics again, as I said yesterday when I picked up Spawn. But I think it was issue 9. I think it was issue 9. This covers issues 8 through 13. But I do know that it was around the time when the characters came upon this giant wall. Because I remember the scene very well where they're climbing the wall, and it really showed, it was a great introduction to the characters. So Akiko, just keep this open here. Akiko is independent. It was an independent sort of comic by Mark Crilly, published by is it Sirius? I think it's Sirius Entertainment. Yes, Sirius. Black and white. He did computer coloring way back in the 90s. So it was sort of all dot matrixy stuff. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it was a very unique coloring for a black and white comic. He basically used a computer, and I'm pretty sure it was. I think I've read somewhere that it was computer colored. But he did what you would normally do with Zipatone. I can't imagine this was Zipatone. I'm pretty sure it was computer colored. But I immediately fell in love with the comic. It's sort of your standard little girl in a fantasy land kind of thing, and that's right up my alley. I love those stories. Wizard of Oz, Alice in Wonderland. Akiko just hit all the right notes for me, and eventually became a really big influence on Oddly Normal, my all ages comic series for Image. But I fell in love with the characters right away. Each one of them was really clearly defined visually, but also the way they spoke, the way they interacted. These two characters are like oil and vinegar, and there's great scenes where there's conflict between them. Akiko here, she's sort of the the plucky main character, and then you have a couple of robots. So got 5 really great characters, and this great scene where they're climbing the wall. I loved the these panels here where she's sort of getting dizzy, and you can tell that Mark he either drew it this way or drew it regularly and then kind of warped it, so he looks kind of strange. But it was a great introduction to the characters. Look at this first panel here. This great vertical panel that really sells the height and the danger they're in. It's almost like it's leaning backwards, and they're hanging straight down off the wall. And it was a really great scene, great action, great character, and it made me want to do. This comic really sort of solidified my desire to make all ages comics, and I knew that if I was going to make my own comic someday, it was probably going to be something like this. I didn't have Oddly in mind at this point. I didn't really create that character until 1999, and this was probably 1995 or 6 when I first started reading this. And this was published 2001, but yeah. So I don't know when this was published, but it went on for like 40 issues, I think. Unfortunately, it's not available via Comixology. I don't know why. I keep asking Mark on Instagram, keep bugging him to get the series onto Comixology. He does these great double-page spreads that really show the sort of scope of the world that he's portraying here. It's really great, really great. Actually, I have a couple of single issues, and there's one here that I was going to show. This is issue 12. Let me pull it out of its bag. 2012. So let's see, this would 97, March of 97. So this would have been like, I would have started reading it probably at the end of 96. Excuse me, or beginning of 97. But really great stuff. And I also loved, one of the things I loved about the single issues, the letters page is pretty cool. What if this is the comic that shows the ship? I can't remember. Maybe not. But I mean, it was a great mix of like, oh, there's another one that shows a great double page spread showing the scope of the piece. He did the story so far told by one of the characters, and he would do these every once in a while where he'd kind of break the fourth wall in the back of the comic to have the characters speak to the reader. I really loved that. Really beautiful stuff. It's a great series. If you ever have want to get an all ages series, if you have kids, they have it via Amazon. The collected volumes are out. He also did a series, I think for Scholastic, but I could be wrong. He eventually did a series of illustrated novel versions of the series, and I think he did some original stories too that way. Since then, he's been doing a lot of manga stuff and art instructional books. But you can find Mark Crilley, MarkCrilley on Instagram. He's got a great feed and shows a lot of process stuff. But one thing, hold on one second. One thing that I realized as I was getting this comic out, this issue, the single issue out to show it today, was that I think I unintentionally cribbed this cover composition for one of my covers. You can really see the influence on chapter 18 of Oddly Normal. It was part of the fourth book in the series. You can definitely see a little bit of, maybe I was influenced by it, sort of. Can't tell, but it's definitely there. Snowy scene, stranger, sort of centrally placed. The hood, it's definitely there. So, Mark, it was unintentional if that was the case. But I love this series. I really love this series. It's a great series.